Winter is here, with snow blanketing every corner. But the greatest threat we face is the wild boar. Fields are mercilessly destroyed, leaving behind a scene of devastation. In some areas, up to 70% of the crops have been lost, leaving the locals almost hopeless. We cannot stand by and watch our year's labor destroyed. We are ready to face this danger head-on. This hunt is not just about protecting the land, it's the last hope to save the livelihoods and survival of the community. The hunting vehicle rolls down familiar roads, bringing us straight to the hunting grounds. Despite the biting cold, nothing can stop our team as we rush to the designated spot. After a brief wait, the target appears. The moment the opportunity arises, the gunshot rings out and the boar falls. But the wild boar herd doesn't stop. They charge off with terrifying speed. Not letting them escape, I signal to my team. The sound of gunfire rings out in response, blending with the roar of victory. The opening battle is dramatic, giving us the strength to push forward in this challenging hunt. The morning sun begins to filter through the trees, and we continue our search for new targets. Wild boars tend to come out to bask in the sun at this time, and sure enough, the target appears. Quickly adjusting the scope, I squeeze the trigger. Each shot stays true to its mark. No mistakes. The boar falls, successfully brought down. A victory that saves this place from the relentless destruction of the wild boars. Seeing the boars begin to flood out into the sunlit patches, we quickly set up a blockade. The wild boars continue to emerge, seemingly unaware of the danger lurking nearby. Seizing the perfect opportunity, the shots ring out decisively. The strategy unfolds perfectly, and the spoils exceed our expectations. Accuracy and determination bring a great result. After the thunderous explosions of gunshots, the area falls eerily silent. But the danger is far from over. The boars are hiding deep within the thick trees. Without hesitation, we push forward, carefully scanning every hidden corner, not missing a single movement. There! They are here! I steady my rifle and pull the trigger. The bullets hit their mark one by one, without a single boar escaping. Silence returns, but this time it's the silence of victory. Focused on the boar in front of me, I almost missed the dark shapes lurking on the periphery. I immediately signal to John to intercept. Receiving the signal, he gets into position. As the target emerges, his movements are swift and precise. The boar is stopped in its tracks. Our perfect teamwork ensures we maintain control, second by second, under immense pressure. Before long, other targets meet the same fate. Swift and silent, no unnecessary sounds. We continue our sweep of the area. More wild boars emerge, flooding the place in larger numbers, both in packs and as individuals. The hunt becomes urgent, taut as a bowstring. Without hesitation, we split up and tighten the perimeter, setting a new trap. The tracks left in the snow lead the way. The distance between us and the prey shrinks. Then, a series of gunshots pierce the silence, cold and decisive, shattering the stillness of the deep forest. The pursuit ends, and once again, this place bears the mark of our absolute control. True hunters at work. The sky faded into the last streaks of sunset. At midnight, John's peaceful sleep was shattered by the urgent ringing of his phone. A panicked voice pleaded for help. Wild boars were rampaging through the German fields. Their razor-sharp tusks tore through every furrow, then swiftly vanished into the dense forest, easily escaping the farmer's pursuit. Without hesitation, John and his team hit the road, heading straight toward the beast's hideout. Will they arrive in time to save the fields before everything is flattened? Stay tuned to find out the fate of these wild boars. At just 5 a.m., John's entire team moved steadily into position, encircling the forest. Their determined footsteps crushed dry branches, marking the start of today's hunt. After a thorough search, John paused, eyes fixed on the brush ahead. Suddenly, a dark shape flickered within. It had to be a wild boar. Instantly, John took aim and raised his rifle. With a decisive squeeze of the trigger, the beast was down in the blink of an eye. Without moving in to confirm, John shifted his gaze to another corner. Through his binoculars, a wild boar slipping back to its den came into sharp focus. Barrel already raised, the trigger was squeezed without warning. A single bullet was enough to cut off the beast's escape, sending it tumbling down the hillside. A threat dealt with swiftly, cleanly, and precisely. John pressed forward, guided by the frantic calls of the hunting dogs. His swift steps closed in on the source of the noise. Ahead, dense thickets blocked any clear view of the beast. But with years of battle-hardened experience, John quickly predicted its path. The moment it revealed itself, the gunshot cracked sharply. There was no doubt. The creature lay still, silent, with no cry left to utter. Just when it seemed the hunt was over, a signal came from deep within the forest. Wild boars had appeared. The team quickly regrouped, moving into their assigned positions as planned. Minutes later, John was ready, gun in hand, eyes sharp on every movement. As he turned his head, the herd slipped through the trees and charged out. Cold gunfire rang out. The lead boar fell instantly. The rest vanished at an astonishing speed, too fast for him to reload in time. At another spot, a fierce battle was unfolding. Finn was the one to open fire. Right ahead, a herd of wild boars, unaware of Finn's presence, calmly foraged. With a series of swift and precise moves, the gun was ready. Each squeeze of the trigger echoed sharply. One beast dropped on the spot. No time to react. Another flawless victory was marked. At the same time, John pressed on with the chase and soon spotted the remaining herd. They charged through the whirlwind, making John's head spin, but nothing could shake John. He unleashed a burst of shots, tracking every step the beasts took. Within minutes, the forest lay scattered with fallen game. Peace had been reclaimed for the land and its people.
Deep in the forest, wild boars move like shadows, expertly hiding their tracks. In this ideal environment, they thrive, and their numbers have soared to nearly 10 million, threatening not just the crops but the safety of the villages on the forest's edge. Today, we are here not just to hunt, but to restore the balance between man and nature. Will we succeed? Stay tuned for the thrilling events that unfold next. Everything was set for our hunting trip in the eastern Tennessee woods. The vehicle moved deeper into the area we had pinpointed as a likely spot for wild boars. Upon arrival, the team spread out, cautiously scanning the surroundings. The wait passed in silence, and the tension in the air grew thicker by the second. My finger rested on the trigger, alert and ready for whatever came next. Then, a dark figure appeared clearly in my sights. With a new laser sight, I made a quick adjustment and squeezed the trigger. In an instant, the shot hit the massive wild boar, weighing over 300 kilograms. Wow, the first trophy of the day was a heavy one. This hunt might just be the lucky break we were hoping for. We continued moving deeper into the heart of the forest, where wild boars frequently come to forage. There it was. It was so focused on feeding, it had completely dropped its usual vigilance. This was the moment. I squeezed the trigger with determination. Everything unfolded perfectly, controlled, as if this battle had already been decided. And the peace of the villagers here was a result already secured. Realizing the forest was now engulfed in danger, the wild boars rushed out quickly. I signaled to Nick about a boar charging toward him. Instantly, he sharpened all his senses. Out of nowhere, one dashed across. The gunshot rang out, precise, deadly. The beast collapsed to the ground. A perfect combination of preparation, speed, and reflexes to handle the sudden turn of events. Just as we were catching our breath after a long trek, I quickly set up an ambush for the wild boars I expected to appear. True to form, within just 5 minutes, they began to creep toward us. Everything went exactly as planned. I locked onto my target, focusing with all my concentration, and then a single shot rang out. The wild boar dropped instantly. The rest of the herd vanished into the woods as if they'd never been there, vanishing silently after the sound of that shot.
Schade.
Meanwhile, Nick remained patient, waiting for his moment. Every eye scanned the surroundings, as the wild boars here were crafty, always seeking ways to hide.
Nice. Got him? Yeah, I'd say you got him.
What's that? What's lying there among the trees? Nick quickly spotted the familiar shape. Every movement was swift and precise. Not a second was wasted. His caution and professionalism reached their peak. Another victory in the hunt, but the pride didn't come from the prize itself. It came from the absolute accuracy of every action. Amidst the dense, dry trees, the wild boar's camouflage was so perfect that they almost blended seamlessly with the color of the trunks and the ground, making it nearly impossible for the naked eye to spot them. However, everything changed once I was there. A well-calculated, decisive shot. This wasn't just a victory. It was proof of the combination of patience, meticulous preparation, and the ability to strike at the perfect moment.
The vast golden wheat fields of Italy, once shimmering with splendor, are now reduced to barren patches of churned earth, littered with chaotic tracks. The dense, forested hills surrounding them conceal an invisible threat, leaving farmers exhausted from sleepless nights worrying about their harvests. Recognizing the urgency, local authorities have issued orders for hunting expeditions to protect the farmlands. Today's hunt brings teams of hunters and their trained dogs into a battle to reclaim the farmers' livelihoods. From 5 a.m., the Italian fields buzz with the presence of Thomas's team. Wild boars typically ravage crops at dawn, but today, they're unaware that their end awaits. Instead of relying on the hound's signals, Thomas employs tracking devices today. Soon enough, the device beeps urgently, and Thomas rushes forward. A massive wild boar appears moments later. A cold, precise shot rings out, and the beast collapses in the field it was destroying. Before Thomas can check the fallen boar, the barking of the hunting dogs echoes through the air, and he races toward the sound. Reaching the field's edge, he calculates the likely path of the prey. Suddenly, from the tall grass, a group of panicked wild boars bursts out, fleeing the pursuing hounds. But they don't get far. Shots ring out, dropping them one by one. The sound reverberates across the field, and the carcasses lie neatly in the hands of the hunters. Continuing the sweep across the field, a strange noise instantly puts Thomas on high alert. He immediately assumes a ready stance for a confrontation. In a fleeting moment, a wild boar appears, perfectly aligned in Thomas's crosshairs. One shot is all it takes. Swift, clean, precise, saving the field from yet another threat. Hundreds of kilometers away, the hills of Spain are no less intense. Finn's team arrives early, accompanied by skilled hunting dogs, spreading out to key positions across the slopes. Just minutes after settling into place, Finn has his first encounter with a massive wild boar. As he readies his stance, the ferocious beast suddenly charges straight at him. But with seasoned expertise, a single precise shot fells the creature at his feet. A smile breaks across his face, marking a victory in restoring peace to this land. Without time to savor the victory, Finn swiftly moves on, continuing the relentless pursuit. He raises his binoculars, scanning the dense bushes stretching across the hillside. A dark shadow silently weaves through the thickets, coming clearly into view. Seizing the moment, he chambers around, takes precise aim, and pulls the trigger. The shot, executed with lightning precision, takes down another boar. Immediately after, the hound's barks echo across the hillside, a clear signal of the beast's presence. Without hesitation, Finn and his team rush forward, coordinating with the hunting dogs to cut off the wild boar's escape route. The first shot is also the only one needed, clean and decisive, ending yet another menace to the area.
A thin morning mist still clung to the hills, but the destruction left behind by wild boars the night before was painfully clear. Cornfields torn to shreds, sweet potato plots ravaged like a war zone, and the livestock penned still in ruins. These beasts aren't just aggressive, they're cunning and bold enough to attack anything that stands in their way. In that eerie stillness, Thomas's team moved quietly, locking and loading, inspecting every round with cold precision. Their eyes burned with determination. They weren't just hunting, this was a battle to defend the crops, the land, and the peace of this community. By the end of today, will these monsters still have a chance to bring terror once more? The team made the call to move to the first battleground, the southern slopes of America. From high above, the open landscape stretched out before us, giving the hunters a commanding view of the terrain. There they were, a pack of wild boars clustered at the base of the hill, too focused on foraging to notice that danger was closing in fast. Bang! The first shot rang out, sharp and thunderous, a declaration that the hunt had begun. The entire herd scattered in panic, but it was already too late. Two more shots followed in quick succession, dropping two boars on the spot. It was a strangely smooth start. Could it be a good omen for the rest of the hunt, or just the calm before a much tougher storm? Pushing deeper into the dense forest, thick undergrowth began to limit our visibility. Then suddenly, a target appeared at a considerable distance. But that kind of range doesn't faze a seasoned hunter. Thomas quickly raised his rifle, took steady aim, and pulled the trigger. The first shot sliced through the air, sending the boar darting behind the brush in a desperate attempt to escape. But there was no escaping the second shot. Fired without hesitation, it landed squarely. The heavy beast rolled into the undergrowth and lay still. At the same time, in another position, one of Thomas's teammates had his eyes locked on a boar hiding deep in the thick brush. The moment it poked its head out, ready to bolt, boom, the shot rang out. The animal was hit, tumbling to the ground, not giving it a chance to recover. A second round followed instantly, sealing its fate. The prey was completely subdued by the hunter's pinpoint precision. What do you think of that shot? Drop us a comment and let us know. Leaving the hillside behind, the team took a short break to recover before moving on to a wide-open field, where the wind whispered through the dry grass. Suddenly, strange noises emerged from within the brush. Thomas, rifle in hand, stood ready, calm and focused. Moments later, a dark figure burst out at breakneck speed. Without hesitation, Thomas raised his rifle and fired. Bang! The first shot hit, but it wasn't enough to bring the fierce creature down. A second round followed immediately. This time, it was over. The beast collapsed, its escape attempt cut short by the marksmanship of a sharpshooter hardened by countless hours of grueling training. Suddenly, the loud barking of the hounds erupted ahead, clear signs that prey was closing in. The team rushed toward the sound, and right then, a massive wild boar burst out of the brush, charging straight at Thomas in a full-blown attack. In that split-second moment of danger, a single hesitation could have turned Thomas into the hunted. But he didn't flinch. Calm and composed, he raised his rifle, locked on target, boom. A thunderous shot rang out, and with just one bullet, the raging beast was dropped before it could get any closer. The hounds were still barking in the distance, echoing from deep within the brush, clear signs that another target was still hiding. One of Thomas's teammates rushed in to assist, quietly pushing through the dry grass, following the urgent barks. Then in a flash, the target revealed itself. Crack! A single gunshot rang out, deadly accurate. The boar froze for a moment before collapsing in the underbrush, completely still. Now put yourself in that moment. Would you run, or would you stand your ground? Let us know in the comments below. After a series of intense encounters, the team gathered the hounds and began the journey back. Today's success wasn't just about stopping the wild boars from destroying crops and livestock. It was a clear testament to the sharp instincts, unshakable nerves, and expert skills of seasoned hunters. More importantly, every action took place within a designated, state-approved hunting zone, following all legal regulations to the letter. If you found this journey thrilling, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming hunts.